What's going on, guys? Time to do some sim racing today. Realized I got the C8 GTE car. Remembered I have a whole set of cars on rFactor 2 that I never did any videos on. Kind of ties back to one of my last really good sim racing videos was iRacing versus rFactor, and we kind of talked about it. So I bought all the GTE cars because that's my favorite class. So stay tuned. We're going to start a series today comparing the 6 cars. Also, check this out. Couldn't pass on the Lotus, guys. Stay tuned. Alright, what's going on, guys? So basically we're going to hop in here and do some GTE comparing on rFactor 2 today. First question, why rFactor 2? To be honest with you guys, I want to make sure I nail this formula to get to a point where I'm really happy with it before I go into buying every single car, every single track on iRacing or LMU for that matter. So basically, this is just a practice run that you guys can enjoy the content on. rFactor 2 is really cheap right now too, and the bundles are crazy. That's always been what attracted me to the game. The bundles are crazy. The other part of that is why GTE. So to put this into sports terms, for me, you know, we'll talk basketball. There are guys that you got to watch play, and then there are legends that you remember as a kid, and then there's stuff way before your time. And for me, GTE is like the Kobe Bryant, right? As far as GT cars go, I wasn't really watching like that when GT1 was the thing, but I was really into it when American Le Mans series came out with, you know, E46 or E92, and then just watch that class grow into what it was. And this game has the best version of that, in my opinion. It has. And basically, to watch GTE go from cars that had kind of a simple aero to get a little more complex to separate from GT3, and watch some of those battles, just some of those iconic battles, those iconic moments. I feel like GTE is the safest class for guaranteed racing week in, week out. Then you have the challenges of no ABS. And that was always a rewarding part about driving that class. Unfortunately, it did go the way of the dinosaurs and got replaced by LMGT3. You know, it's just one of those things where customer cars, you could replicate it and sell it over and over and over again. And unfortunately, the Corvette, the GTE Class, and all those manufacturers got caught up in that. But I do think LMGT3 is the future, and I'm excited to see what happens with it. Today we're going to be driving the Corvette Duo. rFactor 2 is the only game that has, the only sim that has the final version of the C7R, meaning the bigger diffuser and the bigger rear wing. Every other game that has the Corvette GTE car, C7, has the older version with the lower wing and the pretty basic diffuser. So if you wanted to drive a front engine Corvette, this is the game to do it on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and look at the cars now. All right, so before we get into the cars, one last thing. This is your C6 GT2 car. When I say the aero, the cars got faster and the aero improved. The original version of the C7R shared this exact same aero. And, you know, if you look at the diffuser, it's really just, there's not a lot there, right? So, and I mean, maybe we'll drive this at the end for fun, but let's go ahead and go back and I'll show you guys the C7 GTE car. Let's go here. Now, both of these share the same engine displacement, 5.5 liter V8. This one is a cross-plane Pushrod V8. So unfortunately, I didn't get to hear it up close and personal in the full anger, but I did get to see its replacement, the C8 first race. But if you look at this diffuser, you have these vertical strakes right here, and basically that was the difference that they needed to get the GTE cars out of the way of the GT3 cars. Because originally the GT2 cars, they always had better tires, but they didn't have the aero to fully utilize that corner speed. And with these, with the upgraded aero, that put them over the difference. So that's your 5.5 liter in a Pushrod V8. And then you got your C8 GTE car. Now, I absolutely love both of them, but naturally, let's check this bad boy out. It's funny because it's the least sounding Corvette to ever Corvette on the racetrack. I'll add an image of myself in right here next to the real thing. But I like the Corvette chassis, man. I've always liked Corvettes. Not necessarily like my dream car, but just like cheap horsepower that's attainable. And the new ZR1 is just the absolute craziest version of this. Anyway, when the C8R came out, it debuted. The Z06 hadn't even got announced yet. When I first heard this car, I thought it was going to be a 4-liter twin-turbo V8. But let's go ahead and hop into the car. We're going to go to the Le Mans racetrack and just do some driving. And then I'll do a voiceover at the end, and I'll show you guys. I'll pick my favorite of the two. All right, we are out at Le Mans in the C7R. Big V8, and it's nice because it doesn't rev as high as the C8, but it's a different type of engine. So when people hear Corvette, this is what most people think of. There's a lot of videos where they're kind of joking about, you know, the C8R, and, you know, out of nowhere the C7 comes in. And it just, this is like, not my childhood, because I was already a little older by then. Well, I was already grown by then, but this is what I think of when I think of Corvette. Big American V8 yellow car. Just fighting at the front, like, as somebody that grew up in America, you know how the Top Gear guys are. American cars can't turn, and they've made a lot of jokes about Corvette over the years, but I think every one of them loved it from a driving perspective. But I mean, obviously with the front engine car, you're gonna get a little more rotation. Brakes are kind of touchy, but that could easily be a chassis thing, and I'll try to not talk too much about that side of it and just enjoy the car, man. But yeah, I mean, short wheelbase, nice torque, and it's nice to have an NA motor. One thing that I've learned to appreciate over the years is just, like, as I got more into the racing, nothing really beats a simple V8. Simple NA V8, nice power delivery, consistent power. It goes a really long way, and just making the car easy to drive, you know. It makes it more predictable, and again, it's just a big V8, man. Fun car. Like I said, it has all the modern aero, and you can feel that. But if you wanted to do a GTE league and you didn't want to like have to find a mod or whatever, this is gonna be the best version of that car from the from the manufacturer or whatever. So yeah, like I said, man, big simple V8. It's plenty fast on the straights. Not a ton of oversteer either. So yeah, just enjoy the car, man. As I crash out, right? Alright, let's go ahead and get into this Corvette C8R now. Obviously the biggest difference is going to be the engine, right? But, I mean, the sound on its own is the least Corvette to ever Corvette in history. But with that being said, I do really like it. I think that high revving nature of the flat plane and the dual overhead cam, it's like the best of both worlds for me. As far as, I really love the NA delivery, but I love the high revving nature of some of these, you know, your 911 RSR, your 488 GTE, stuff like that. And this is like honestly the best like middle ground for what the Corvette was with its NA engine to switching to something. And the whole reason they switched was ultimately for the racing program. That's the part people don't want to acknowledge, is like, yes, the Corvette was good, the C7, but when you're talking about the cornering speeds that these cars are going at now and the power that the class has now, you're talking about higher levels than what an FR car is gonna, at some point an FR car is going to reach its limits, and I think that was the main decision behind switching to the mid-engine layout. I was really glad when the specs came out that this was a NA V8 5.5 liter, because for a split second there, you know, with GM and its platform sharing and so on, I thought we were going to get yet another 4-liter hot V twin turbo V8 based off the black wing that Cadillac had, and I'm actually glad they didn't do the platform sharing. The front end is a whole lot lighter on here, which, I mean, the engine's in the back, so you can kind of expect that. But yeah, back on topic with the weight displacement and the high revving V8 and staying in I knew I would love this car and how it drove, and sure enough, here we are, just getting the most out of it. I was really glad when I found out that they were gonna move this car to the LM GT3 class and keep that Corvette thing going. It's also cool to see customer cars, and maybe at some point, you know, this car will be racing at the Nürburgring, racing at the Spot 24. Those weren't possibilities until GT3 became the primary GT class. So I'll add in the image of the C8 Z06 GT3R right here. But, you know, that being said, I would have really loved to have seen this Corvette, mid-engine Corvette, race against that Ford GT. I mean, Corvette stepping into a new realm with the mid-engine stuff, and at the same time Ford coming back after such a long period of time. It would have been cool to see, but I mean, I won't get into the 2016 alleged sandbagging. What's going on, guys? Hope you liked that video. Stay tuned, because we are going to keep doing them. Like I said, just trying to get this comparison formula figured out before I dive into buying every single car, every single track. I want to make sure I'm doing the best way possible. And I got a ton of content on rFactor too. Like, I got the GTE pack and the GT3 pack, and I never did any videos with them. So why not kind of ease back into it and start with GTE, since that's a class that's ultimately going away the dinosaurs. But with that being said, C7 versus C8, honestly, ripped the band-aid off. I went 4 seconds quicker in the 8. And it's weird, right? Because I don't think they're 4 seconds apart. I think the 8 suits my driving style better. But it's weird because I was also able to brake later in the 7, but I kept spinning because of that weight transfer, man. I'm not good at front engine cars, and that's okay. But yeah, the Corvette C7 is a beast. I think the funnest part about it is the fact that it is a front engine car. It does sound like a Corvette, and it's within the regulations to race any other cars. And the other part is, why not LMU? I actually do own LMU. One thing behind that, though, is I don't know if they're going to add older GTE cars. I think right now, at least, they're focusing on seasons. So the chances of us getting the C7, the chances of us getting the Ford GT, I don't exactly know where that sits at. But the C8 felt faster on the straights, which is no surprise because it's designed to be revved out. The C7, I felt like I could brake better, but that weight transfer, the back just got light on me and it just got away from me. If I had a C7 like this, I would show you that. Maybe I will find one. But with that being said, This is the winner, C8 GTE. We'll eventually work our way back into iRacing, and eventually we'll work our way to LMU. But stay tuned. We do have more GTE videos on the way. We got Aston Vantage versus M8 GTE, battle of the twin turbo V8 Hot V's. And then we have 488 versus 911 RSR. So we got a 3-part series, and then maybe I'll do a long race or something to just to wrap up GTE. Maybe I'll try to push my buddies to race with me on here. Let me check the final cost of these cars real quick, and I'll go over that with you guys. All right, so I mean, I talked about cost being a factor and why I got the game. So I did pull up the store. rFactor 2, just a GTE car by itself, $5.54 right now. So the 7, 8, and the GT3R, which is a Callaway car, I'll actually show you guys that because that's cool. But I mean, it's only a $5 car, rounded up 6 and some change. So yeah, like I said, if you just want to have some fun, hop on here. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. But like I said, we working on the formula. Idea is to get to a point where I'm happy with the videos, and I don't want to, I'm not gonna say waste it, but I want to make sure I'm putting out the best quality content for the freshest stuff. So with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the video, and then let me know what direction you want to see us go from there. Comment your favorite Corvette race car. For me, it has to be the C6 GT1 car. Main reason, man, it's a 7-liter V8. I think that was the least restricted version of the Corvette. To put it in to add on to it, I'll add an image in right here. But the C6 GT1 car, it was really the Z06 road car turned all the way up. And the GT2 version, they had to destrict it. They had to downsize the engine, de-stroke it. That was a 7-liter V8 making all that power, racing against the Aston DBR9, the Celine, and they're just the late GT1 class, and that was the ultimate proving ground for the Corvette. Like, oh, the Corvettes aren't this. Look at the Le Mans version. So, of course, we're gonna keep it going. But like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more, cause we just getting started, man. Like I said, stay tuned for more. Apex out.